Hey everybody, Matt Gear here for the Geek Pride cast on this Monday evening. With me, as always, we have my co-hosts, Peter Ray Allison.
Good evening, everyone.
And JonJo Cosgrove.
Hello, everybody.
And our special guest this week, and our first of the year. It is our first of the year.
It is our first guest of the year. We've got our first
guest
podcast
of the year. You are very privileged. Andrew Reid, welcome.
Thank you very much.
So, Andrew, who are you? What do you do? What's your thing?
Right. Okay. I write thrillers. My first one was called The Hunter. I've even got it right here.
Nice.
And it came out several years ago, and 2018. And then I had my third child, and stopped writing for a little bit. But I'm back now with another book called The Survivor, that's coming out in 50 days, exactly 50 days, on March 24th.
And can you tell us a little bit, without obviously ruining the whole thing, but what's the sort of kind of general synopsis?
So the pitch for it is that we've got a young guy called Ben who's been fired from his job in New York, and very first day at work gets fired, gets in the subway on his way back home thinking, how am I going to pay rent? And he gets texted his phone with a picture of another person in the subway, and it says, if this guy gets off the train, he's going to die. And he's like, that's obviously nonsense. And he goes, deletes the message. The guy gets off the train and dies. And then his phone buzzes again. It's another picture. And it's like, moves on from there. What's he going to do? And why is he being targeted?
That sounds really cool.
I pitched like 5 books to my agent and another editor at the time when I started writing it, and I pitched like 5 books, and they were like, nope. I went, all right, a guy's in a train with a killer. They're like, write that one. So that's where it came from.
Why? I really want to hear about the new book, but also why were the other pitches not accepted?
I think like a mix of like overly convoluted, like I'd overwritten them, and I was like, oh, it's going to be this and this and this. They're like, it's a bit much, it's like they're like, we want simple, we want straightforward. And then as the more I said, like, simplify it, and eventually I just went, right, here's something really simple, and they're like, great, that's what we wanted from you. So it was kind of there's like that kind of half-hour conversation where like they're going, you're trying too hard. Just be nice and simple, please.
There is something to be said about having kind of really simple, tightly written thriller story. That to kind of strip down bare bones.
But aren't thrillers meant to be like? There's meant to be a lot going on, so you don't guess. So you're not guessing what's
some mystery.
Yeah. I think when you go back to like the kind of like very modern style of like pitching and storytelling, like back to like Tony Scott and that whole idea of high concept, you have to be able to sum up the core of it in a sentence.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
So for that first meeting, it was like a guy stuck in a train with a killer. What happens next? And then the rest of it is what happens next. 100,000 words of what do I do with this? Okay. He's in there, but what happens next?
I mean, we ask this quite a lot of writers, like, how, given the thriller nature, and obviously it's a distinct plot, with like lots of red herrings, and avenues to explore. How much do you plan it out in advance, or are you one of those kind of by the seat of the pants writers?
A pantser.
I do plan it. I used to, when I wrote the first one, it was very much kind of like I had an idea for the first half of the book, and I was like, I know where it's going to end, and then that sort of like hazy area is like, I'm going to fill that in when I get there, and I wrote it, and then I sent it to my agent, and I was like really pleased with myself, and she sent back a letter that started, this is really good, but I know 5,000 words. Please rewrite the back half of your novel because it's not coherent.
Okay.
So I plan a lot now. This one, for example, has a spreadsheet, and it's like, chapter, POV character, what happens?
Is that to keep you sort of in line with, so you don't sort of paint yourself into a corner, effectively?
Kind of. It's like the pace, like the pacing of it. I mean, it started off with 4 characters, and that immediately it became apparent that it only really worked with 3, and so I had to kind of rewrite it so it worked for 3 people instead of 4 because it was bouncing around too much, and that made it really slow. And so you get a feeling for where the problems are cropping up.
When you're doing these pitches, how far into the work are you? So have you got just like an outline to the book, or have you got pretty much everything written? What stage are you at when you're putting these pitches across?
It depends on the project. That one, I had like 20,000 words of one of the books that I thought they were going to really go for.
Oh no! Oh, got it.
And that was the first one. They were like, "No, just take it out of the back and shoot it." I'm sorry, and I went, "Oh, okay."
With that, have you completely given up on it, or is it sort of sitting on a shelf somewhere, going one day?
You just put it in a corner, and sometimes like a line from it will pop into my head. I'm like, oh, that's useful, and you can
cannibalize it.
Yeah. Nothing ever gets wasted.
And how long did it take you to kind of write this new thriller? I mean, like, assume like from the planning all the way through to final submission.
About 2 years.
Ouch.
And that's like it's a sort of function of having 3 kids under 10 and a full-time teaching job.
What?
So it's like whenever you can fit it in. And,
I mean, you are married with children and have a full-time job. How do you fit it in without having a psychotic break?
I have a psychotic break once every 6 months.
You schedule it. You schedule the schedule.
Yeah. Just like it's like at the start of summer, I think I'm going to get a ton of writing done. But what I really do is spend 5 days going like this, and just like really, there's nothing to do, so I have to just sit there going, oh god. But it is. You try and fit it in where you can. They get kids at clubs that like I sit for an hour outside of fencing with a notebook. So it gets built slowly, bit by bit.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember when my daughter used to go to these professional swimming competitions, and I'd basically go there with my laptop, and okay, I've got an hour and a half just to write. Right, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
So I mean, children's clubs are perfect writing time. Apart from when the other parents try to talk to you, it's like, please just shut up, I'm trying to write, go away. Which does make you come across somewhat slightly sociopathic.
That's one of the good things about Sweden is like there's not a lot of like that friendliness or like willingness to walk up to you and just talk isn't there. Like there's a gap between everyone in the bus stop, and so if you sit down and you just like zone out, everyone leaves you alone.
Because you moved to Sweden about 10 years ago. Is The Survivor set in Sweden, or is kind of set it in like the UK where you're from?
It's set in New York.
Oh yeah, you said at the start, Pete.
Oh, sorry.
You weren't paying attention.
I apologise. Why did you set it in New York?
So like this is the thing. Like when you think of this is entirely vibes based. When I was thinking of the pitch, because I was like. I wanted it on an underground, and I was thinking, if you want something kind of spooky, lots of lore, London Underground is the sort of thing that I think of. Or if like a spy thriller, I think like Paris, because it's got all sort of like Art Nouveau stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, what's kind of like really a little bit over the top thriller with a psycho killer? I got to be America. And then I thought it was like immediately New York. Just like that bit in Coming to America, where it's like, we've got the whole of America to choose from. Will it be New York or LA? So
I love that.
And then like the New York subway is ubiquitous. Like if you have seen a TV show or a film or a music video set in New York, the subway's there. Everyone knows what it looks like.
Yeah, and also New York has a very kind of unique vibe to it, and it just isn't really associated with the kind of thriller aesthetic.
Yeah, and you've got like the absolute classic Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, which takes place there. So that was like immediate sort of go-to read for it. and the earlier movie. The later one with John Travolta. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
Yeah, I'll see it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's really worth a watch because Denzel Washington is in one movie and John Travolta is in another, and they're both acting their hearts out, but they're different films.
It did feel like it was like a film of two halves, but it was entertaining though.
Yeah, I mean, you've got there's the one bit that really stuck with me is Denzel Washington. He's going to go and take the bag to the guys in the train, and he phones his wife, and he doesn't say what he's doing or that he might die or whatever. He just talks about like picking up the shopping and the milk. And I was like, Jesus, he's really going for it. Just like, it's just heartbreaking. I'm like, do you know what film you're in? The budget is like $15. And all of it went on, whatever John Travolta was on at that moment. he's just screaming swear words at the camera.
I'm going to have to watch that film now. Yeah, I mean, there was that classic Mel Gibson kind of New York thriller, crime thriller. Not Payback. Pardon?
Mel Gibson?
I was just about to say Payback. I don't remember that much being on the on
No.
the subway.
Oh, no.
Not Braveheart.
No, what's on it?
No.
What's the one with Danny Glover?
Getting too old for this shit.
No, completely. No, it's no, thinking. Oh God, this is great podcast material, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Pete, let me see if I can help you.
Okay, but basically, it sounds like kind of. It's away from the underground, but the whole kind of vibe of New York, the kind of the grey, the almost what's the word, black and white aesthetic.
I think if you're doing it, I think if you're going to pick, there is like when you're going to do these sort of things, especially for films, New York's ideal for that sort of
conspiracy theory.
No.
I give up.
you didn't try very hard.
I just thought, let's just Google. I just went New York, Mel Gibson. I was like, conspiracy theory. Is that what? No, right. Never mind.
What women want,
Yeah, is it what women want?
Actually, Payback. Sorry, it was Payback.
Oh,
it was Payback.
Yeah, I was thinking of the ransom. Yeah, but Payback. That was like really, very distinctly New York crime thriller.
The absolute classic one would be The Warriors.
Oh, yes, yeah. And that was obliquely set in the underground as well.
Yeah, the chase across the city.
Yeah, and that was and how each section area had its own distinct aesthetic, but still being in an underground.
I've not seen The Warriors for ages, but have any of you seen the Simpsons version of The Warriors?
No.
Oh, it is so good. It is unbelievably good. So basically, Bart and the bullies, they go to this big bully meet-up, and the head of them gets attacked, and it's basically the Springfield bullies that get accused of it, and then they're trying to get back to Springfield. It is excellent. It's so well done, and they take every good part of it. So like all the radio announcements. So you got all the different gangs, and it's just probably the best parody I've ever seen of The Warriors. There's been a fair few in recent years.
I sort of remember there being like a PlayStation 2 game of The Warriors.
There was a video game. Well, actually, one thing I want to ask: how much research did you do, for The Survivor?
So the idea of it being set on a single train on one journey. If you look at like Google Maps, you can on a timetable you can find out like where the stops are and how long it would take. Kind of match that to the timeline of your book. But if you go online to there's a New York subway guide, and if you look at each station and you put it into YouTube, you'll find a guy that has worn like a little point of view camera and walked all the way through the station as if you're a passenger from the turnstile to the train. So you get walkthroughs of the entire subway system.
Nice.
People are obsessed with it, so you just like plumb into what they've been doing, and there's like so many like opinion pieces and little video pieces about the subway, and you can get people like they'll break into the driver's cab so you can see what it looks like and what it looks like when they run. You're like, okay, cool.
I'm on a podcast
Breaking the law,
live.
thank you. So there's like tons to like tons of resources out that you can look at of people getting first-hand things on it.
I think that's great that you're probably thinking, shouldn't we do that? At the same time, you're like, well, I've got to make a note of that for the book. There we go.
Sorry about
time
that.
frame?
Just bear through on one. Well, if you just got a random, I'm on a podcast live, it's because I was shouting at my missus because the dog was barking. So you got a random comment. I muted you guys, and then I forgot I muted my.
That's
so
great.
I'm on a podcast.
So we were just talking, and halfway through his podcast, you go, "I'm doing a podcast."
Yeah, pretty much. So you're gonna get some very, very randomness.
Andy, I'm sorry. We are professional. We promise.
Dog was
Well, I am. I'm not sure about these two.
Content, honestly.
Apologies.
Excuse yourself.
What's the time frame, by the way? Like, you mentioned this on a single time. So what's the time frame for the entire novel? How long does it take?
Across about 90 minutes.
And you write a 100,000 word novel that covers 90 minutes. That's a lot of detail that must go into it.
It jumps around a little bit. You got like above ground and below ground are the two main threads of it,
right.
And like there is like a bit of the main character's past comes back up. So pardon me, sorry, just like he's yelling at his dog. I'm burping, and so there are like a couple of little flashbacks in there about the past.
Right.
So I don't know. I find that like I actually wrote up because it ended up around about sort of 80, and then like we wanted more here, we wanted more there, and it ended up around about 100,000. But it doesn't feel like it when I read it. But that's
a sounding good novel, though. I mean, if you don't, it doesn't feel that long, and you think, hang on, I've got the end of it. How did that happen?
It's hopefully people like race through it.
It's good though that you think that, like you said, a 90-minute journey, but you are doing the back and forth things like that. But I was just about to say, in the defence, if you were about to go, Pete, it's not going to take me 90 minutes to read this, but it's going to be longer. I'll guide you to Dragon Ball Z, my favourite ever saga, the Frieza saga. They made the planet Namek was about to blow up in 5 minutes. They made that last for 7 30-minute episodes.
Really?
So, there you go.
How did that work?
It's because it's anime. They do whatever they want.
Yeah, like crazy anime, man.
But it was one of them things that, as a 10-year-old, I actually said to a friend of mine, they said 5 minutes. He went, just shut up and watch it. Okay.
One of the reasons I really want to bring you, other than just being your friend, you got a new book coming out, and I can't wait to read it, is that one thing we were discussing, like in advance, was the difference between horror and thriller. Yeah. And there's a lot of crossover to do. I mean, a prime example is Misery by Stephen King, which is often labelled as a horror, especially the film. But I would argue it's a thriller.
Where's the line? Yeah, that's a good point. Where is the line?
Where's the line between thriller and horror?
See, I was thinking about Misery when you mentioned it, and one of the things for me is like I find the book more horror than the movie because of the internal voice versus the external. Like having like I think they're both. The Venn diagram is like basically a circle at this point, but the movie leans more thriller because you are external, and the book feels more horror because you're trapped in there with him. And God, what's the writer's name? I was going to say James Caan because he's the actor.
Yes, it's James Caan. Yeah, we'll just go with that.
James Caan wrote it.
Sort of like his sort of like spiral away from reality is like feels more horror to me. But I think it's a really nice thing to talk about the intersection.
That's I forgot it was a Rob Reiner film. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also like there are elements in the Misery that are horrific, like the whole hobbling scene.
James Caan as a famed novelist, Paul Sheldon.
Yeah,
Paul Sheldon, that was it. Jesus.
Yeah. Number one fan.
But I got when you were saying about horror, I got a review from Booklist, which is the American Library Association reviewer, and they said fans of movies like Speed, Die Hard, and Carry On will be entertained, though some of the graphically described scenes may challenge more squeamish readers. This is for the new book, because there is.
Speed, Die Hard, and Carry On.
Yeah.
Like Carry On films, as in like
the film Carry On.
That's fine. I just had to clarify because I thought that's a range.
It's like matron.
Those 70s movies where a window washer sleeps with a bunch of women. You're like,
well, at least we got the time period there.
Yeah, because I do love a little bit of like, gory, like body stuff in there. Like when I wrote the Hunter, there's a guy who gets his eye popped out and things like that. And
how do you describe that? How do you go about even having the mentality to describe something horrific like that?
You just sort of like think about it mechanically, like what would it feel like?
Oh God!
Like have it, like I did take a grape and push it with my thumb, and I think like feel that little pop, and I'm like, oh, that was like that felt about right. I was like, let's talk about that.
Feeling nauseated right now. Oh God!
And there's a couple of bits in the Survival that are similar. And now I'm writing a new book. I'm like, what can I put in that's really grim? Because and I don't think about it when I'm writing it, because it's just like, oh, this would be cool to have. It's and it doesn't, and I see it so often. When you read it again and again and again, you kind of lose the effect. And so people read it and they're like, oh no. So, which is what I want. I want them to feel a little bit, this is bad.
Sounds like a very good Netflix crossover there. You could be the next Harlan Coben.
I wish.
My missus loves like she loves, like, we have to watch every single Netflix Harlan Coben thing, even it doesn't matter what language it's in, it has to be watched.
Yeah, one thing I want to ask as well is, do you have a kind of a routine or kind of for getting into that mind frame of writing? Because sitting down to write or can you just sit down and write and just go?
I spend a lot of time musing and stuff. There's a lot of like, I'll sit down to write and I'll sit at the keyboard and go, not sure what to write. Not sure what's going to happen. And then I'll go away and it'll be a cup of tea and I'll think, oh, what? No, I'll get some grapes. Or I'll go and like read something else and have a think, and I'll come back to like, I'll have an idea of the scene in my head before I actually get to writing it. So what I've started doing is carrying like a notebook with me and just sketching, and it's usually like dialogue. I'll write like just the dialogue itself, and I think here's the scene, but just the dialogue, and then the description, because I can't sit and turn into a shrimp trying to write it all out. But if I've got like the bones of it, I can sit down and write. Otherwise, my 45 minutes before I collapse from exhaustion is wasted. So it's like you kind of let things burble away and cook before you do them.
There's a lot to be said about just kind of having things in the back of your mind, just kind of brewing away, baking away, so until you're sure they're ready.
Yeah, you percolate it, and that's it. But what was I thinking? Like, there was something else I was thinking about horror. I was going to ask you guys, like, what would you think? Like, because I was thinking about the horror and thriller. What would you classify as like a pure horror or a pure thriller?
I would say, like, for me, what like pure horror would be something like Event Horizon, where it's just, that's
science fiction as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. But
for me, pure horror would be probably Ringu.
Ringu, that's like here.
That's Japanese. That was Japanese. Go on.
Yeah, my example was also Japanese.
Oh.
I was thinking The Enigma of Amigara Fault.
Okay.
So you're thinking like pure without any sort of kind of crossover, so like it wouldn't be sci-fi, it would just be
pure horror.
Pure.
Hills Have Eyes?
No thriller element to it, really. That's what I was thinking. Just like sort of like, here's something that disturbs the mind and has no like the thriller has like sort of pace and tension.
Blair Witch Project be fully fully horror, or would that be sort of tie into thriller? It's
That's what I wonder. Is like because there's a lot of things that they cross over between them, and they're both like sensation fiction. It's like
Yeah.
they're both trying to
guess
create some sort of sense of tension.
is the difference between them. Like, I guess no, because
I always like the idea.
Is it
Would
the
Lovecraft?
Is it the scare?
Lovecraft.
Is it the scare?
Lovecraft then. Lovecraft is very focused on the horror the protagonist is experiencing, and it has only had minimal descriptions of the creature itself.
Yeah.
But,
So probably Lovecraft is the closest in that case to pure horror.
but what is sort of, because if you
like I think things like Junji Ito, Spiral,
Yeah.
and there's a sense of like inevitability to everything that happens in those, and like Ring as well.
right,
You know,
yeah,
those-
yeah.
I always used to think that horror was more the stuff that you see and like just out there, and thriller would be the stuff that sort of plays with your mind, so you're not necessarily getting the full picture, and your brain is sort of filling in the gaps that maybe you don't want it to.
I know, but you can get horrors that are sort of very.
Oh yeah, of course you can. Yeah,
Like if you think about like the one which I always mention because it's like one of my favorite sort of kind of horror, I guess, slash thriller is Ghost Stories, and it's very you have to, because it's got a really sort of kind of divisive end. You have to really think about it and how things are happening and stuff. It is scary, but it's very much sort of like you have to sort of think about it. It's like the Babadook. It's like the Babadook as well. The Babadook's got.
Babadook's a good example.
Yeah, the
like
Babadook's a really good example because it's like it's meant to be about. It's not meant to be really about a monster. It's about dealing with depression and despair and things like that, and that the Babadook is just that thing, and that's sort of kind of the concept behind it, but you got to really think about it to do it. So the scare is the horror side, but it is technically not a horror film in a weird way. I don't know, it's it's definitely, there's a lot of crossover. Like I guess arguably the true horror would just be like one of those B movies where there's not a lot of story behind it. It's just like jump scares, blood,
Hammer horror.
Yeah, like stuff like that where it's just
Human Centipede.
yeah. There's no.
Oh yeah, God.
Like the Saw movies, I guess.
So,
But that has got thriller elements to it as
Yeah,
well.
I suppose you have to think about. Yeah.
And I mean, I liked the first Saw movie. The others I did not care for. But
have
the
you not
first
seen
one,
Saw 10
Or
or Saw X, whichever?
I saw 2 and 3 and just gave up after
The
that.
last one is actually really good.
Okay.
Because it kind of goes back to, it's basically set just after the first one,
Okay.
which doesn't make sense because everyone looks about 20 years older than what they did on the previous one, but it's good. And that is a very, there is still a good amount of horror to it, but it is a lot of psychological stuff to it. It is very well played in that sense. So,
Has anyone watched the Purge films?
no,
Yes.
like I'm not a massive fan of
Us too.
gore.
But it's very political horror in that it's not the people, it's not the monsters, it's it's basically the setting itself is what's terrifying.
I'd say,
Yeah,
what
we'll
about
get hit with the Del
Paranormal
Toro
Activity?
Pan Andrew?
Sorry. I was going to hit you with the Del Toro quote there, where all horror is inherently political.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, but that's everything's political, to be honest. But yeah, but I mean, especially in that. I mean, that is one of the most obviously political films out there, and I can't wait to see the next one now after what's going on in America.
Yeah. Like I don't know, like maybe the Paranormal Activity films. Like I remember what I'm not really, because I don't really believe in sort of like. I used to when I was younger. I'm not really a believer these days. But watching Paranormal Activity freaked the fuck out of me, especially when she gets dragged out of the bed. That bit I was just like, nope. Nope.
I think with Paranormal Activity, especially that first film, it is a very slow burn.
Yeah.
It's not like straight away, it's just jumping here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
And I suppose inverse in that question, what is the most pure thriller? What would you say the most pure thriller is, Andrew?
Yeah,
But define a thriller.
But
Sorry. the Del Toro quote was like, he was talking about Frankenstein. He was saying that it was like, if you side with destroying the monster, that's one choice. But if it's like, if you side with the monster, or you're trying to understand the monster, it's the political view of the outsider. Like pure thriller, I was thinking about this. It's the really pure ones, I think, are probably ones where you know the good guy is going to come out on top no matter what. Like, it's like there's that tension kind of is already released by the fact you know it's gonna be okay. And my example for this was like the Reacher series.
Yeah.
I was thinking something like earlier, the 24.
Yes, yeah.
But because that's
still
more
go through the
action,
ringer a
though,
bit.
because it's not pure, because it's technically Reacher's action. Surely, it sort of ties in.
It's like
I was thinking,
tries-
what about that one
Sorry.
with what's his name? Oh god, his name's completely gone. Colin Farrell, and he's in the phone box. Is it phone box? The one where he's
Phone booth.
That is a good one. That's a good
That's a
one.
very good example, actually.
yeah, phone booth.
Yeah,
Because
it
there's
is.
not a lot of action in it. It's located in one thing. It's about him talking. There's not a lot of anything in that for me, because he comes out, like you said, you've got that sort of, he comes out on top, but there's that sort of like tightening elastic band sort of
Tension.
going on.
Tension
yeah,
to
yeah,
it,
yeah.
Yeah. The thing that, like, do you remember you know The Thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the original story for it was like Who Goes There?
Yes, by...
The Campbell story.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was like the description of McCready in that reminded me of it was like I was watching Reacher and it reminded me of the description of him, because like he's a bronze man with bronze skin, and I was like, there's the bit where he goes into the house and fights a bunch of people and he gets beaten with a crowbar at one point, and then the next scene he's in the shower washing off the blood and he's just bronze. He's like untouchable. And I was like, I love the fact that The Thing took that story and made McCready, you know, you see him just pouring his whiskey into the chest machine like a weird old homeless man.
I have trouble reading the Reacher novels because I don't feel there's distinct threat to Reacher. I mean, given that like, he's a 6'6", built like a brick shelter, and it's like, you know, a military police, and it's like, hang on, you can take on most people. There's very little threat facing you there.
Yeah. I think for thriller, you need some sort of like, as much as you're probably aware that they're going to come out on top at the end, you need that sort of
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
No, because
I mean, okay,
think
it's an action film, but there is still thriller elements to it.
I know, but we're talking about pure, like, so.
Pure
Give,
thriller.
I think we've got one example currently, which is
okay.
phone booth.
What about Silence of the Lambs? I would say that was thriller, especially for the interactions between Clarice and Hannibal.
I would cross over with horror, though, wouldn't it? Surely.
I would say, like, this is like one of the weird things where, like, we're talking about Misery being like horror and thriller depending on the film and the book. If you take, like, I think Silence of the Lambs like really, really strong horror elements. If you take Red Dragon, the book before, and that is like a really, really good, solid thriller where, like, the main character is put through the ringer in it, and he doesn't even come out on top. Really, at the end, he gets really, really messed up at the end of it. Sorry, it's quite an old book. Sorry for any spoilers.
Spoiler.
But then if you take like Hannibal, the TV series, it takes the pitch of Red Dragon and twists it into something really horror. Like it's like they've tried to make it like take it all the way from thriller to horror. I think it's a great example of like turning the horror dial up.
I'm trying to think, because there has to be more which are a bit more sort of black and white.
Die Hard's a good example.
Right? What was that one?
Yeah. Die Hard is a good example. But...
Yeah, but that is a pure thriller. There's also it stars Samuel Jackson. Long Kiss Goodnight.
What's that one again? It sounds familiar.
Stars Gina Davis, which is that's why she went on to star as the mum in Stuart Little. Yeah, I was freaked out when I saw that too.
Yeah,
I'm trying to put my finger on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
She's
feel
like an assassin, loses her memory.
Yes, exactly. That's the one. Yeah, she loses her memory and busy. And also Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne, classic
That's
thrillers.
Shane Black. Shane Black wrote that one. That was
Yes,
yeah.
yes, he
Would you-
did.
Um,
Would
Hence
you
why
say
it's set in
Mem-
Christmas.
Would you say Memento was a thriller?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, a very good film. Yeah.
Very good thriller. And there was another one that I rewatched about a month or so ago, and I've not seen it since it first came out. The film Red Eye. That was actually
Not seen that.
it's Cillian Murphy, Rachel McAdams. It's a very good. It's another one in ones that it's isolated. It's in one location for the majority of the movie. It's all set on an airplane, so you know the threat is building all the way through. It's a good film. Without spoiling it, I'd say if you get a chance to watch it, it's quite a quick film as well. It's about probably just over the hour and a half mark.
What about here's a controversial one, but sort of thinking about it. What about Hateful Eight? Tarantino's Hateful Eight. They're all in one place. They're in one place. They're all sort of there's murders, and it's all about sort of Samuel L. Jackson's character and what's the fella's name? He's in Fallout now. He's in the
Walton Goggins.
Yes, Goggins. That's it. And it
what a name.
Yeah,
Goggins goggles.
But you kind of know they're going to come, or at least Samuel L. Jackson's going to come out at the end. As much as they don't come out well, he comes out the other end, and it's not horror, it's not action. I suppose
there is a certain tense feel to it because it is a single location for the majority of the film, and it is quite well paced as well. But there is obviously, as a Tarantino film, he does like to blend his genres quite a bit.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's got comedy, it's got western.
Yeah, I suppose.
Bare Feet.
Bare Feet. Yeah. It goes without saying.
I'm going to throw one in like for discussion because this I think it's meant to be a horror movie, and they tack on a bit at the end to make it more horror. But Don't Breathe.
Ooh.
What's that one?
And the thing is, like, I think the problem with Don't Breathe. Have you seen it?
I don't think I've seen. I might have.
It's Stephen Lang. He's blind. His house gets attacked, but he basically attacks back.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
yes.
He traps the home invaders in his house. The problem with that movie, and it's not a problem because it's a great movie, is that Stephen Lang is brilliant. and he's too good. And you're like, get them, Stephen Lang. He's the bad guy. You're like, mess them up, go on.
But do you think Jeepers Creepers? Like, I always thought Jeepers Creepers until the very end.
Horror.
I know, but until the very end when it was a monster, it was very sort of. I suppose it is still technically horror, isn't it?
Yeah. Actually, I've got one controversial idea for you. The latest Batman film, The Batman, is that a thriller or is it a superhero film?
Do you know what? That's a good question.
Because he's got no powers. He's just very prepared and has some high-tech equipment.
And there is a lot of escalation as well because
and it is investigating. It is him. It's more
It's
an
an
investigation. The Riddler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's not.
It's got something that it's got lots of noir elements to it. And
Yeah, it's set in a single area.
So
Yeah.
arguably, you would put it into superhero genre, wouldn't you?
But structurally,
it's heightened.
Yeah.
With the superhero thing a little bit. It's like what's the one? Miller's Crossing is like a really, really good movie, but it's that gangster noir feel to it. All the dialogue is really, really over the top. What's the rumpus? But it's a really tense movie. You're like, oh god, have you seen it?
No, I don't think so.
I know it. I've probably seen it, but a long time ago.
The pitch for it is that the second in command of this gang is sleeping with his boss's girlfriend. He gets sent to kill the girlfriend's brother who's been cheating the boss out of money, and he lets him go instead. And the guy comes back to town going like, well, you're meant to have killed me, so you're the one that's going to be in trouble. And it just like it twists from there. It's really, really good. But it has this like really over the top dialogue. It's like shot in like really bold colors. But as the movie goes forward, all the color starts to drain out of it, and it gets more and more serious. It's really good.
I would have to
Really
watch that
worth
again.
watching. Yeah.
So you're talking about just and it's a bit of, it's not even a segue. We sort of had a brief talk about superhero. I've just started watching. Well, I've got one episode left of Mr. Sorry, well, the new Marvel series.
Wonder
Man.
Wonder Man, and I'm really, the fact that it's just about two actors and sort of their, like, I know he's got superpowers, but in a really sort of like, I say subtle way, and it's not, every now and again it's not so subtle, but it's just I love just that sort of the way it's sort of.
I finished that.
Grounded. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I've not started watching it yet because I'm still watching Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Is that horror or is that horror? Is Stranger Things horror?
I think it has become progressively more horrific. It started off like sort of the kids on bike adventure seal,
Goonies type
and then
thing, yeah.
and then as the series has gone and the actors are growing up and they can do more violence against them, and like as children get older, there's less restrictions around them, what you can do to them, so they can engage more horror elements.
Yeah.
I think the
one more
bit
to
with
throw
season
in.
2 when people started melting was was like that's
Yeah.
giant tentacle in the face. And we're like, okay, we're over. We're in
Yeah.
horror territory now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I've got one more to throw into the ring of thrillers. It suddenly just come to me. Psycho.
Is it though?
I think it is more thriller than horror. But
It is marketed
I think
as
for
horror.
us now, though, I think if you look at it for, I think if you watched that when it came out, when Hitchcock created it, I think you would say it was horror because it was so new and it was just like, completely different than everything else. Whereas we would maybe look at it now as more as a thriller, but I think it's like time dependent.
yeah, I can
Dude,
see that.
when Watership Down was released, it was released to you, and that traumatized me.
Oh, Watership Down was horrendous. How they thought that was a children's cartoon, I have no idea. It was just
Yeah,
like,
Watership Down endures.
yeah, it really
It's a
does.
horrific thing.
Like I can see like the moments in that, like I can see is that like the fight where they're just tearing each other to shreds in the Warren, and like the bird, he says piss off, and then start taking.
And this is the film that teachers would set up like leave for their children to watch and go outside for an hour, and leave the classes watching. They traumatize a generation.
There's a great side gag in the one of the Ghostbusters movies, the one with Paul Rudd where he's the substitute teacher. And
Yes,
he
he's
just puts on Cujo.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
I did like that little moment. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's what going back to the Survivor. Where did the idea come from? I'm not going to ask where do your ideas come from. What was kind of the initial spark for the Survivor?
I'm trying to put it like there's a bunch of things that go into like making the story up. I was thinking about like airdropping and privacy and like being able to contact other people's phones.
Yeah.
And I had written something before it that was really sprawling, and it went across multiple locations, multiple things happening, and it didn't pan out. And when I was thinking about something, I was like, I want it really to be really, really tight, really focused, like a short journey, like stuck in this train, really claustrophobic, and to have kind of a main character that is not super resourceful and not super capable, and is going to be put through the absolute ringer in this title. Like, he's going to be just like everything's going to come back and kick him. Like, his past going to come back and hit him. Is like the situation he's in is going to hit him really hard, and he's going to have the worst day of his life. And I wanted to be like I was thinking about this thing where like you're reading books where the outcome is inevitable, like the Reacher book and things like that. And actually, I've been watching I don't want to name the show or like the film really, because it's like when you take thrillers to kind of like a very conservative way where it's almost like a little power fantasy.
Yeah.
And I thought I don't really want to indulge in that kind of power fantasy where it's like it feels almost like propaganda for something like that, for violence, and I wanted to make it the opposite. So putting all these things together, I wanted this guy to just really, really have a bad time and then climb his way out of it at the end of it.
I suppose, like, where do you kind of find that kind of... I mean, what were kind of touchstones for, like, describing that main character?
I think the main thing was coming up with, like, a reason for why it was happening to him. That was, like, the original pitch was, like, there's no connection as to why it was happening. It's like, why is this person targeting him? Why has he been picked on this day of all days for this to happen? And once I'd sort of built that kind of just that like kind of idea, that hook or like that sort of background for him, like a little half page. Here's what happened to him, a decade ago, and here's the ripple catching up with him. That was the stone cast into the pond. Now there's the wave is catching up, and it's gonna hit him. And once I got that kind of informed the rest of the story and what was going to happen, like how it was going to play out. And then everyone else is just kind of like slotting in around about that. We've got, and because the sort of like antagonist is hidden behind the other side of a phone, as far as everyone else is concerned, he's the suspect. So it's how the world reacts to him.
Yeah, because if he starts shouting, if that person gets off that train, they're going to die, you really become the suspect. How do you know that? Yeah.
Yeah. If you try and confront someone saying, like, something bad's going to happen to you today, like, are you doing it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's how do you... Yeah, which was a great piece of drama just to kind of explore.
How do you tackle that problem?
Have you seen the that Netflix... it's based on a book as well. I can't remember the author, but His and Hers. That's recently on. It's basically about a sheriff, and what's guy played Punisher?
John Bernthal. Yeah, I've only seen episode 1 of it, so please don't spoil it.
Yeah. So it's really just like he's a sheriff. She's a reporter. There's sort of like they're not divorced, but they're split up, and they sort of kind of are brought together because there's been a murder, and that is really, really good because it's got a lot of like it hits you pretty early doors with, oh my god, what the fuck sort of moments, but then it's got a lot of like, it leads you really well to a point of you're kind of going like, I remember saying to my missus, that person, it's definitely, I wrote the script, and I said there, I wrote the script and stuff because it makes you think this way, and then it hits you with this like complete sort of like side swipe towards the end, and you're like, well, I did not see that anyway whatsoever.
Yeah, there are lots of ways a twist can like to make or break a film, or book, or TV series.
I think if it's too arbitrary, I think if there's zero connection to it, then it can be like. I think this one, there was definitely a fine line. It worked, I think, but there's a fine line with it. But I think if it was just a case of, we want you to believe one thing and then suddenly throw in something random in there, then it doesn't work. You need to have that. I'm trying to think, there was an example, I can't even think about it, where it signposts something. I can't even think what the film is.
Yeah, you can't give away too much about it because we've not watched it.
Yeah, no, not this.
Let's not spoil it for
everyone. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this. I'm trying to think of a film. I just can't think of the film's name. But it signposts. It signposts throughout the film what's going on.
Well, a classic example is Sixth Sense, where it kind of drops little clues about the twist at the end.
Yeah.
And when it reveals it, everything just kind of falls into place. I mean, something that Westworld did as well. The first season did very well.
That is true. Westworld.
But there's other times when a twist is done and you're thinking, oh. Yeah, just like, right. I mean, how important is the twist for you, Andy?
I think look, the twist itself, it's something that comes kind of like when you're writing the story, you know what's going to happen, and it's how you tee it up and deliver it at the end is delivering like the twist, and a big part of that is like the edit, and it'll go back and forward like your agent or your editor, or your beta readers, and they'll be like, I don't get this. And you're like, oh right, okay, hold on. So it's like there's like a balance almost, and I wonder, like sometimes I'm watching a movie or a TV show, and I'll be like, was something cut out in the edit? Like at some point between the start and the finish, they were like, the script was there, and then at the end of it, like, oh yeah, we cut out that bit for time, and you're like, oh, okay, that's like the octopus in the Goonies. And,
oh shit! Yeah, heard about that. Yeah.
And right at the end, he's like, "We fought a giant octopus." Like, did you? And
yeah, do you know what I always thought? Because as a kid watching that, and they said there was a giant octopus, and all I was thinking as a child, because when I was a kid there was a slide or a series of slides in like water slides where I was called the octopus, and I was just thinking because they went down that water slide thing, that's what they meant in that, and I never realized that there was a cutout scene where they actually there was an octopus.
It is amazing when you think about some TV shows and films. You do hear about things that get cut or get changed, and well, as we get loads of reshoots for most films now.
Yeah. How much involvement do you have in like the cuts and the edits? I mean, do you kind of have this kind of the final say? Go, hang on, no, we need that bit in, put that back in.
Yeah, everything's a suggestion. It's like it comes back from my agent with a thing saying like, I think we should do this. It's your choice though. I mean, if I said I don't want to change this, she would make a terrible frowny face and send it out anyway, and she'd be like, okay, well that's your funeral. But the thing is that like you try things out, and like you find like when it's structural edits tend to be very clear big changes with a reason why. Here's why you should change this, and then you try it out, and you're like, and you get really mad. You take a day to go like, my art, and then you try it, and you try it, and suddenly it's better, and you're like, damn it. And those things they tend to be a lot easier to swallow because it's a bit, even though it's a big change, you can see how it's better for it. And then you get into like copy edits and proofreading and things like that, and people will quibble over commas or like and sometimes it's really well reasoned, like this is a brand name but you're using it as a verb, taser, so you don't capitalize it. I'm like, yes, great, thank you. And then sometimes like, why did we put commas here, you psychopath? You're just like, no.
Oxford comma, yes or no?
Yes.
Perfect, that's the correct answer.
It's like Oxford comma all the way. But the process is, it's entirely, they're like, we would like you to consider changing this, and sometimes it'll come with a note from you, like you're someone in the chain will be like, agent or editor going like, we don't need to change this, don't worry, this is outrageous. And you're like, thanks, I also thought that.
That's good.
But and when you sign off in the book at the end, it's basically the final reads through. It's like you read it, and you sign off and say, I'm happy with the book as it is. And invariably there will be little mistakes creep in because you just miss stuff. But hopefully they're not too big.
I mean, how important are beta readers to you?
I have a couple. I have a couple of kind of like, I'd say like alpha readers. And I have a friend who's not really into what I write.
Okay.
And that's really nice, because she'll come back with a comment that's like, I don't understand this, and it's always really, really insightful. So she's like, she'll read it and she'll go like, why would they do that though? And you're like, yeah, I have to explain why. And it's a process of like, you have to find the right people, and having one really good reader who will give you the straight truth about what they're reading, like how they feel about it, and the ability to interpret that is worth more than having like a bunch of feedback.
There is valuable, insightful feedback. Constructive feedback is worth its weight in gold, because you got friends that say, yeah, it's great, but no, you want that kind of criticism.
Remember the Spartans. All right, there's obviously the tale about the Persian king. He had a guy beside him who always said, "Sir, my lord, always remember this. Remember the Spartan."
Yeah.
It's but before anything gets sent out, like I'm just written a 3,000 word short story, and before it gets sent out, my wife will always read it, and she turned to me and went, "This is the darkest and most twisted thing you've read. Also, you go to way too many golf clubs."
So are we good?
Thing is, like, I'm not a creative writer. I do like sort of writing now and again. I guess sort of when we're doing our D&D campaign.
D&D, that is a creative endeavor.
Yeah, that's what it's like. So when I'm doing that, but I find that when I do any creative writing, when I do it, that you can get quite defensive about it early doors if somebody criticizes it, but then if you were to leave it and come back to it, you're gonna go, okay, right, yeah, I get it now, because you're not in that zone anymore. You're not sort of in that sort of emotional place to that thing, and then you kind of go, yeah, that's
Yeah. Having that little distance from it is really good. I think, like, even better than beta readers, having a beta reader nowadays, I think, like, a really vital part of the process is the 3-person group chat. So it's like a little group chat with only like, you know, like 2 or 3 people, like three people is kind of like the magic number. Of having, like, and it's, you know, I've got a group chat with Jen Williams and Den Patrick.
Okay.
And so Jen, writes fantasy novels, writes thriller novels. Den wrote 2 fantasy trilogies, 3 if you count some stuff for Galancy did. And it's great because it's like that sort of like tossing the ball around about writing and like how we feel about things, and like you can suggest stuff in like the chat that's like kind of like would go down nowhere else, and they're like, it's not going to go anywhere else, but you can like chew it over and toss the ball around. It's really nice.
Oh, it's like Tolkien's like little club with C.S. Lewis and stuff, when they all the writers together sort of.
Are you part of a writers' club, by the way, Andrew? Of like one in Sweden?
No, I mean, I've got some writing kind of like, there's like a writing group. It used to be a NaNoWriMo group.
Yes.
And then that all imploded. And I meet up with them occasionally, and there's like a couple of translators there, and some people that write around about Stockholm. And we meet up and have like a little lunch and a chat. And I practice my Swedish, and I'm very, very bad at it. And like my Swedish is good within a narrow range. Right. So it's like, it's like you don't speak very often, and when you do, it's like a very limited number of things. So it's nice to like go out and catch up with them a little bit. But I think it's we don't meet very often. That's the thing. It's very much a time limited thing. Whereas like the group chat is just there, just, you know.
Well, you were talking about
you
were talking about sort of like, obviously some of them are fantasy authors. Would you ever sort of like, is thriller your thing, your what you would do, or is there any sort of other genre that you thought, yeah, I'd really like to try that, sci-fi, fantasy, horror?
Would actually given overlap is a horror a calling for you?
I would love to write some fantasy. I think like there's always like been horror elements in what I write. I don't know if I could pull off like really like I'm not really like very like, there's a lot of modern horror coming out that's really sort of I haven't read enough of it to feel like I've got a good grasp of like the modern things, like, you know, The Lamb and things like that. And there's a lot of like feminist, grotesque, cannibalism stuff that like I think I would need to read a bit more, but like I'd love to write some things with like horror in them. I'd love to write some fantasy. I have on the back burner somewhere a great thing of like an alternate history, giant magical mechs, but it's,
there's loads of like Joe Abercrombie does some like some of it, because his fantasy's very low. Sort of, it's like
witty,
low magic sort of stuff. It's there, but it's not. It's very sort of based in. It's kind of based, especially his newest one, which is the Devils, which is like based in Europe, sort of, but a sort of alternate version of where elves are instead of. Yeah, it's worth a watch. It's very good. No, watch.
I mean, there are quite a few examples of fantasy thrillers. For example, Robin Hobbs and the whole Realm of the Elderling series, like the Farseer trilogy, and so on and so forth. And there's a distinct and definite crossover between thriller and fantasy.
Yeah, well, you could do like Joe Abercrombie between the so you've got the first Thought Law trilogy. He's got 3 books in between, which are separate stories but link into the main trilogy, and then obviously he's got his last trilogy. But the 3 books are completely. They are, one of them's a heist, basically a fantasy heist book. One of them's basically a fantasy like war film, and another one at the top of my head is like a sort of kind of western type one and stuff. And it's fantasy, but he's got those different sort of angles within them, very tight within them, and it's very well done.
Because this one is like a revenge thriller as well, isn't it? It's like God, it's like a female main character and she gets left for dead and then comes back.
Yes, that's it. That's Best Served Cold.
Yeah.
It's called Best Served Cold.
That's it.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, it's just like, yeah. So it's it is fantasy, but it's not. But it's got that sort of kind of background to it, and I think it gives you a bit more of a sort of leeway, because if you're living in a fantasy world, certain things can happen more naturally. Or unnaturally, as it were, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a really good example, because that's one of my favorites. It was really good.
But the next question I know is, how do you relax? I mean, given that you write, work, father, husband, in that little remaining free time, how does Andrew Reid actually just sit down and chill out and?
Staring into space. No, I went back to rock climbing. I stopped. I used to rock climb a lot.
I remember that.
And then later on, and then I got really, really sick, and I went into kidney failure.
Oh, wow.
And had a transplant, and so like last year I got a year card for the climbing wall, and I've been going there like 2 or 3 times a week to climb in the evenings, and that's quite nice.
Did you watch that mad bastard free climb that building in Taiwan?
Oh, that was mad.
Oh yeah. Alex Honnold. Yeah. His if you watched the free solo thing that he did where he climbed El Cap.
No.
That's like he climbed like one of the it's the incredibly hard, long, multi-pitch route. Pardon me. And he does it completely solo. And it's terrifying. But then you see, like, they do like a behind the scenes following around, and you see that he has no fear of anything. He doesn't seem to his little level where he just doesn't react to anything at all. You're like, okay, I get it. He's in extreme shape and a very, very good climber, but also he doesn't see this as a problem.
Yeah, it's mad, because he was just like, I was like watching and I was feeling nervous, like, just watching him do it. And it was just like, he was doing some like really showboaty stuff, like halfway up this fucking building. I was like, dude, if you even slip, you're fucked. You're dead. There's no coming back from this. And I think he said, it's just like, there's no, in the end, if you're that far up and you fall, they were talking about parachutes, I think, and stuff, and he was just like, it doesn't matter, you're dead, this is just the way it is. And he was just standing on waving to people and sort of doing shit, and I was like, oh my god, man, I feel sick just thinking about it. Just mad.
And I mean, there's some people like that that's just seem to do these incredible cases. Jackie Chan is a prime example. But one thing he said to me is like, yes, I am scared. I am absolutely scared. But I still do it. And the fact that some people just have no fear, that is just...
I think when he hits the top of it, we got to the very top of the tower, and he climbs up, and he stands there, and you expect like a celebration. He goes, sick.
Yeah, it was just so matter of fact. Like, yeah, I've climbed this huge fucking building that's taken me an hour and a half. I could have died at any moment, and yeah, sick, nice, yeah. And he's just sort of kind of looking down and just talking normally and shit. And it's like, it's just the fact that, he's climbing, and there's people in the windows taking photographs of him and stuff, and like just interacting with them and stuff. And I was like, no.
I think they found you, Spider-Man.
I was like, fucking hell. Like, there's bits in it where there's sort of, because of the way it's layered, it's meant to be like bamboo, like it's meant to be like a bamboo shit and stuff. So there is parts of it where it's layered, but even so, if you're falling in one of those sections, you're still dead. And it's just like, it's crazy, man. But his upper body strength must be absolutely insane, because he made it look so easy. Like, he started showboating at one point where he just latched on to this sort of overhang with one leg and sort of leaned back and then just came back up again. I was like,
what's it like getting back into climbing for you? I mean, given like you used to be incredibly into climbing at university, and now you're kind of getting into it 10 plus years later.
It's 10 plus. That's not very kind of you. It's the experience, like you're saying about people that can say upper body strength. I mean, I go to a wall it's slightly out of town, and so the one in town is really nice. It's really big and airy, and they've got lots of Instagram friendly lights on there. And then this one a little bit further away, it's kind of, you go there because you're really into climbing. So it's lots of competition kids and young guys that are, and young women that are incredibly wiry, and they just grip things and then float. And you're like,
yeah,
what's happening?
Yeah.
And so you'll be like sweating buckets trying to get up something, and so we're like, are you climbing this? And you're like, oh, you go ahead, and they'll go, right. But on the flip side of it, it's a really, as a sport, it has no, or I guess there is toxicity at like high levels when people compete against each other. But if you're going as like an everyday guy going to the climb wall, everyone's there to have a good time. There's cake, there's coffee. It's very, very chill. The music choices are questionable through the PA, but it's really nice. It's a really nice way to relax.
What's the music choices?
Oh god, there's some like really weird, like there's a guy. It's like, do you remember? Oh god, like it's like really old DJ Shadow stuff.
Oh wow,
being
okay.
played. Like,
oh, wow.
I do like a bit of DJ Shadow, to be fair, but
I was like, that's a deep cut, but maybe not at 2 p.m. on a Sunday with all the loads of kids just like trying to climb. And then one guy who's on staff there who's really into Kanye West and refuses to. And he's like, I'm not changing it for everything. I love his music. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
Awkward.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like I'm going back to Kung Fu a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
And I used to do it when I was at university. Then I met my wife, moved, married, had children. So basically, I stopped. So I started 20 years later, and it's just like I'm now 50. I don't bounce as well as I used to. I'm so glad. Before we used to run round a sports hall and like jumping over traffic cones. I can't do that now. I'm 50.
Yeah.
Give me a break. But now it is quite different, and I'm just really glad to be doing this again, because this is a art form that I just really enjoy, and you get to run around with weapons as well, which is quite cool.
I shot myself. I did the because my work pays for like gym memberships and stuff. Like you can get 350 quid a year towards either home equipment, like, and I bought myself some fancy weights and stuff for that, but you can do like gym. So down the road there's this leisure centre, it's got a gym and you can swim and stuff. I was like, you know what, I used to do swimming. I used to not competitive swimming when I was very young. I wasn't the best, but I've always enjoyed swimming. I'll do that. And I haven't been, bar like swimming in the swimming pool when I've been on holiday and stuff, like I've never sort of swam. And they have lanes and you have to book a lane, and one's the fast lane, one's the medium lane, and one's the slow lane. I was like, all right, yeah, well, I'm an all right swimmer. I reckon I could do, I'll do the fast lane. Fucking died. I nearly killed myself, and I got to the point where I had to say to the fella, I was like, is it okay if I go into the medium lane, because I can't deal this? And I've never felt like it's good exercise, and I need to get myself more regularly to doing it. And but it was just like, yeah, I could feel my age. Like I remember being younger and swimming and not having a problem.
Matt, you're younger than me, dude.
Yeah, and then even so, but it's just like I near died. It's just like.
So what's the future hold for Andrew Reid? Like obviously you got in 50 days we have The Survivor being released in all good bookshops, but what else do you have planned? Do you have another book? Do you have a sequel lined up?
It's not a sequel, but I'm writing a new one. It's kind of inspired by. I was reading a book about wildfires in the United States and how they use inmate firefighters.
Ooh, interesting.
So they've got prisoners
Okay.
that are they're paid a pittance, like $1 an hour, to go out and fight fires, and they're kept in like an inmate camp, and they go out and they hike all day to get the physical fitness required, and then they go out to fight fires. They're cutting the brush in front of the fire, with like pickaxes and like digging up the ground essentially to break a fire break.
Put fire breaks in, yeah.
And this book, the first chapter of it was telling about this group based in Los Angeles, and there's women. Women firefighters out working in a ravine, and there was another group of firefighters above, and they're like, one of them kicks a stone down, and it's like the rock the size of a basketball, and it goes through the head of one of the women at the bottom. And then the next chapter was like how many pages of like the newspaper it was before she got a mention, and it was like 2 lines of a mention in that, and it was so harrowing. It was like, I need to.
Yeah, that's a really good angle. Yeah.
There's something in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and quite often those angles
there.
you least expect is what just grabs you. Something like, just a one line will just grab you sort of thing. Yeah,
like, okay, this is like this is nothing thriller related, but it's about convicts who do jobs. My wife's Thai, and I was in Thailand with her, and she's like, "Do you want to go for a Thai massage? Like proper Thai massage?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, fine, yeah, we can do that." And she started driving along, going past all these government buildings and stuff. She takes a left, and I was like, "Why? This is a prison." We're going into a prison. Why are we going here? So I'm gonna get my car washed. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, well, they have like, these people you get your. Oh no, that's it, right? She's going to get her car washed. She didn't talk about the massage still after. She's going to get her car washed. So she goes in to the this prison, and she's like, yeah, well, just the inmates, they sort of clean the car and stuff like that. And lo and behold, we drive up, people in orange jumpsuits and like tabards and stuff come up, get your keys, say, yeah, okay, go off, and we'll come back, we'll clean your car, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, that's fucking crazy. And then the craziest thing happened. My missus said, fancy a massage, like a Thai massage? And I was like, yeah, thinking we go out, this was strange enough, we'd just go out, go down the road or something. And she's like, oh no, just here. And they had this like mobile like hut thing where where inmates give you Thai massages, and I can only sort of explain it as you went in, it was nice, it looked nice when you went inside and stuff, but my missus said to the woman, yeah, an hour, and I basically got beaten up by an inmate for an hour. And that's all I can say. I went into this place, this woman was just dropping elbows and trying to choke me out and stuff for about an hour, and it's just like,
so basically what you're saying is, if there's any recreational activities, anything you want to do, you just go and visit the local prison.
Yeah,
it's like,
it was
they've got
it was
everything.
crazy, but that was another thing. I was like, she could just kill me at any point in time. She probably tried to. Like, she was like at one point in time, I tapped out. I just did this. I sort of tapped out, and my missus started laughing, and she said, Thai, she's like, oh, he's tapped out, because she'd had literally was bending my leg back like this and all this other stuff, and I was like, I'm dealing with that. But that was so bizarre, just so weird. It's like, got the car cleaned and then had a massage in a prison. And I was just like, yeah, that was definitely not on the I was not on the list.
The list of the day. Get up, breakfast, car wash, brutalized
in a prison. Yeah, it was just, and they had a cafe. It was weird. It was so bizarre because there was like a cafe that sold coffees.
But to be honest, doing stuff like that at a prison is fantastic. It's like, it's community outreach. It's kind of giving the inmate real life skills.
Oh yeah, I get it. Like, I don't get me wrong,
and
but all it takes
and
is
contributing to society, it's fine.
all it takes is that
The fact that you're worse when it comes to massages, puh.
you could think, but all it takes is that psychopath who's literally who's proper going to choke you out. He's like, they're playing nicey in jail so they can get the nice cushy. Let's beat up foreigners in a mobile and stuff.
And
like,
just the content, like your now wife was having the same treatment and did not tap out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, you know what can I say? Just like I did,
Yeah, you're worse. Yeah, we got to.
it was horrendous.
Yeah, the kicker to what you're saying, Pete, is the learning a skill and being able to contribute. The kicker for the firefighters, is that they, because they're felons, they're not allowed to be actual firefighters when they're released.
Yeah,
and
that's a kicker.
That's mad.
They were going to change the rules on it to make it so that they could be trained as firefighters, but then they realised that the number would take it up was too low and they'd lose their firefighter force, so they binned that off.
It's all unionized, isn't it? And stuff. There's lots of they're really protective. Yeah.
So
there you go.
it was
Awesome sauce.
harrowing.
Yeah, it did actually. Yeah.
What's the book called?
Right now it's called Bitterroot.
Okay.
Which is it's the state flower of Montana. But I was just like, that sounds very novelly. I'll put that at the top.
Yeah, okay.
And I was looking at Fire Country and things like that, and it felt like I could hear the country music over the credits for a TV show.
Welcome to Fire Country.
That's it. And I was like, but titles are really, really malleable things. I mean, The Survivor started off as This Thing of Darkness from the Tempest.
Oh yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
And I was like, that's never going to stay. But I think there is a book called This Thing of Darkness. I looked it up, and there's actually I think it's a horror set on a sailing ship, and then the author had passed away after it was published, and I felt really bad. So I was like, I'm definitely changing the title because the poor guy his book came out and then he died. I was like, never mind, we'll let that one slide.
Right.
Oh, here's a question before we wrap up.
Yeah.
I do have a question for UK, because you guys have read UK horror and a similar age to me.
Yeah.
There's a horror novel, or maybe young adult novel, set on the London Underground with a sort of advancing man sigil that they were using to advertise the Underground, and it summoned as the train is running round with a sigil on them, they were summoning a flesh into the Underground. It became this massive beast veins, and I remember distinctly reading it, and I cannot find it for the life of me.
I don't know it, but it sounds like something you'd read in Hellblazer.
So it was its own.
So wait a minute, let's Google it because I'm intrigued. So it's London Underground.
So I've been googling, I'm trying to find it, and at the end of the novel, the heroes, the scrappy young heroes, they draw the sigil backwards, and then drive a train in a circle through these walls of flesh. It's amazing. Or it was amazing when I was 15.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of, it sounds very Hellblazer. John Constantine.
Or was it a book or a TV? Sorry,
it was a book. It was prose. I remember, but if you ever find it, if you've ever come across it, let me know, because I still remember it really, really. It's I don't know if it was the best book in the world, but I remember it. So
I mean, there was a 2004 horror film called Creep, and that was set in the underground.
Yeah, but that's a decade late.
Yeah,
that's that was on a little while ago, and I was like, I don't fancy watching that again. It was all right, but I just found the film. I think the first time I watched it, I remember watching it for a college project, and I was like, okay, it's fine. And I watched it the second time, I was like, it's a bit daft.
Sometimes once is enough,
Yeah. Such as the Dan Aykroyd film,
Black Swan.
No, actually,
Oh,
Requiem for a
another.
Dream. Requiem for a Dream. Yeah, that powerful film, incredibly well made. Never watching it again.
Yeah.
I'm googling that. I'm completely intrigued.
Okay.
I sort of felt like that after watching Midsummer as well. After I saw that, I was like, I don't need to watch this again. I've got the gist.
They got there's London Underground, a
minute.
gothic horror by Nick Connell, Victorian era style of monsters in the tunnels.
It's like more modern. Like, Midsummer's a good shout for like the pure horror.
Yeah, because that was mostly just there wasn't any supernatural elements to it. It was just a
No,
cult.
but it's everyone's. But no one's getting it. Like even as they're going there, you're like, no one's getting out of this.
Yeah. No one gets out of here and a half.
It's funny you say. Is that the difference between a thriller and a horror? The thriller, you know, they're getting away. The horror, you know, they're not.
Yes, I thought that was a good way to delineate the two. Like everyone's getting changed. Like whether change is positive or grotesque. It's like wait, I had something about that. I even had notes. And
end of the line. The Underground Ripper. What? Jesus.
Burn the Line, the gripping new London Underground horror thriller from the creator of
that's
from
the Burn Line's not even out. Yeah, there's one that's not even
Yeah,
out
it's
yet,
not about 20 years ago, mate.
Okay, right. Okay.
The City of Ember? No, that's
No.
Oh, no, that's no. It's because this is what you get for AI. It's shit. It doesn't give you the right stuff.
Actually, I mean, obviously, like AI is prevalent right now. And what's your whole take on AI and everything else?
I loathe it. I hate it. It's like I just don't enjoy the idea of giving stuff over to it. That the act of creation itself is the fun part. Doing the writing is the fun part, and then getting a machine that does it for you, but not very well. It's like.
Yeah, well, you could tell the difference. Like I use a lot of AI in work, but it's more for taking. So like you get documents coming in, and it gives you
an overview.
Well, yeah, an overview, but it takes all the main data points out, so you don't have to spend loads of time going through that document. You just got all the main. If it was a medical report, you'd have the injuries and prognosis period and things like that. I think this works really well when it's sort of just doing stuff like that. When it's being creative. Like I might use it to brainstorm stuff for my D&D campaign, but like I don't think it writes very well. Like it just doesn't give you like I like I'll give it a load of ideas and then it'll give me a theme and then I'll sort of use bits and pieces from it. But I don't think AI writes like as much as it's got the wealth of the world within it, and it just doesn't. I don't think anybody needs to be worried about it.
It's highly derivative.
Yeah,
it doesn't come up with anything new or imaginative.
Yeah.
It is just based on what everyone else has written. It's nothing new.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, people call it.
Sorry, I was like, if you want the most milquetoast take.
Yeah. I mean, people call it generative AI. No, it's derivative AI because it's derived from what's gone before. And no, it's. I mean, there's some fantastic use cases for AI. I mean, I've just been reading. Some research by Microsoft Dragon Copilot, which is basically it's a doctor's assistant tool which will listen into a conversation, like a consultation between a patient and the doctor, and will then kind of summarize it. So rather than the doctor typing out everything as has been said, they will it just automates it for the doctor. He's not typing away. He's just focused on the examination.
Yeah, we've got a similar thing where we had I used it the first time the other day, and it was basically it recorded the call, it then wrote it took all the notes, so basically it took all the notes for the call, and it gave all the action points, and I think it pretty much banged everything. I think I added one in afterwards and stuff, but
in fact you cannot trust it completely. You still have to review the information afterwards, but during the actual consultation, the doctor is therefore focused on the patient the entire time rather than typing up the notes.
I think for things where it's not creating anything, it's analyzing things, and it's giving you. So like there's some lot of use cases for in medicine for
Research,
early sort of diagnosis of cancers and things
yeah,
like that.
pattern recognition.
Yeah, exactly. So things like that, like I think it can be invaluable when it comes to the sort of art side of things.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not.
There's two really nice examples. Like there's one, I thought it was a video manipulation. This is like really far back in the early sort of like model, like taking images and like enhancing them using AI, and it was tracking the pulse from different coloration, changes in the coloration of the skin, and it was enhancing it so you could see like the pulse on the skin as they're doing. So it was like non-invasive for like premature babies. You could see their pulse and track like blood flow. The other one is this like an anecdotal thing. It's from when you talk about doctor's notes. There's a book called Computer Power and Human Reason from 1977, and it's about how we interact with computers. And there was a fun part of it. They built like a really early chatbot, and people would sit and chat with it and try and make it fail the Turing test, etc. But then one day they changed its name to Doctor Chatbot, and within minutes of people using it, they were typing in all the problems. It was exactly the same chatbot. No, you just call it Doctor, and they're like, "Okay, cool." I've got this rash. There's a poor professor going like, "I can see everyone's symptoms."
Oh dear, that is why we have secure by design.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Right. Yes. Well, it is that time of the podcast before we leave that we go to the most important part, the pub quiz. JonJo Cosgrove, hit us. Explain to our guest what you're doing, and
you mean apart from the constant mental breakdowns and things. Oh, sorry, we're on the podcast. Shit, sorry, I forget where I am. So in my spare time, I do a pub quiz. So a little while ago, we integrated that into the podcast. So it gives me a chance to bring out my geeky stuff that I can't normally do on the pub quiz, because I do a pub quiz with people that just want to come down for a couple of hours, have a bit of fun. They don't want to know the ins and outs of the MCU, Star Wars, and all this stuff. So, nice and simple. I write down a selection of rounds. You all get one round each, and we see who wins in their respective round. Andrew, as you are our guest, you will be first for the quiz.
Okay.
Your rounds that you can choose from, and I'm waiting to see if who because sometimes you get a good hint of what the other guys want to have for their round as well, which is normally quite fun. But you do get to pick first, so don't worry about what any of the things they say.
Yeah.
So you can have either the Grand Theft Auto video game franchise, the Deadpool films, the Invincible TV series, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, or the 1979 classic Alien.
I know which one Pete
Alien.
wants.
Pete's got a very good poker face. I was really expecting to go, what?
As you can see from the picture right behind him to his right hand side of the colonial trooper, the colonial marine right up there.
and that's the original artwork.
I would love Alien, to be honest.
Oh,
Year of my birth.
oh, okay. All right, so here we go then. I need to move it so I can actually read the questions. Alien, 1979. Question number 1. Who is the first character to die when an alien bursts through their chest?
Actor or actor?
I did say character.
Yeah, it's got my alerts are beeping at the same time. It's God, what's his name?
Pete, you are holding such a good poker face. I was expecting you to be like, I know it.
Jesus Christ.
This
You're
is
gonna
insane.
kick
It's just
yourself.
that sort of-
You'll know it, won't you?
Pass on that one. Sorry.
Passing. Go on, Pete.
Kane.
It is Kane, as played by.
Yeah.
John Hurt.
Yes, John Hurt.
Pete, come on, man. Jeez.
Oh
John
my
Hurt, the
goodness!
storyteller. Come on.
Oh my god! Oh no! All right, here we go. Question number 2: What is the name of Ripley's cat?
Jonesy.
Yep. Jonesy, yep. Both
And who's it played by?
a cat.
Yeah, a ginger cat.
That was actually played by Johnny Depp. It's one of his first film roles. He was very good in the part. But yes, Jones or Jonesy. Question number 3. What does Ash use when he tries to suffocate Ripley?
It's like a rolled up magazine.
It is a rolled up magazine. So 2 out of 3. There we go. Right. So seeing as Pete's round of choice is gone, you have instead Lord of the Rings.
I
Grand Theft
swear
Auto.
to God, Pete. I swear to God, if you do,
I know what Pete's going to go for.
Lord of the Rings.
If you fucking bastard, no way. You know what? Why do you do this to me? Why? You know it's my thing, and you're taking it from me.
Just a
Lord of the Rings, please, JonJo.
you fucking bastard. No, I'm going Scottish.
All right,
Or
okay.
some
You
weird.
better get
Here we
these
go.
right, Pete, or I'm gonna murder you.
Here we go. Lord of the Rings trilogy. Question number 1. How many arrows are fired into Boromir before he dies?
9.
God, even I can't think of this one. It is. Wait, let me have a think about it.
I mean, 9's wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, 9 is definitely wrong.
My
I
God,
thought-
it's just like keeps going.
I want to say 4.
Oh, 3.
Is it 3? What?
Yeah, it's 3.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So Matt, you can't moan because you got it wrong as well.
Yeah.
Question number 2. What are the 3 things that Samwise Gamgee says you can do with potatoes?
Cook them, fry them, bake them.
No, not cooking.
Mash them.
Yeah.
Mash them is 1.
Yeah, mash them, fry them,
Nope.
bake them,
Voice as well.
Something else begin with B.
bake them. Bake them. Yeah, I don't know.
Mash them,
Yeah.
up,
Not
stick them in a
Something
stew.
else. Something, yeah.
Boil them,
a
of course.
stew.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in the stew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll say half
so-
a point.
yeah. You can fry potatoes as well. Fritters.
You could do anything to potatoes, really.
Well, you do, but potatoes I don't.
Taters, precious. What's taters? Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Potato. Joe, after watching that trilogy the other
Potatoes.
week,
Yeah. And number 3, so I've got half a point. So
Yeah,
I
so,
can
yeah,
still,
number 3.
I can make it
What
back.
gift is given to Gimli by Galadriel?
A lock of her hair,
No. No.
isn't it?
I'm not
No.
giving that. No. It's not a lock of her hair.
I'll give you half a point on
No,
it.
no, no point.
What?
No, he asked for a single hair
Three,
of her hat, and she gave him 3. But she gave me 3.
3 strands of her hair.
It's not a lock. It's 3 strands of hair.
So yeah, so you got a point.
You robbed
Thank you.
it. You robbed it from me. You robbed me.
Right. So, well, Matt, let's be fair. You wouldn't have got 3 out of 3 after we found out you thought it was 4 arrows.
Still.
Right, but Matt, here's the thing. So, the 2 guys have so far got 2 points each because if we're going to add Pete's 2 halves and the 1, so
I've been stitched
Grand
up
Theft-
here.
Grand Theft Auto, the Deadpool films, or Invincible.
Sorry, it was so Deadpool, Invincible, or what else? Sorry.
Grand Theft Auto.
Ooh, the games. I not because I only played old school ones and probably Vice City. I don't think I played anything else after that. So I will not go for Grand Theft Auto. Deadpool. I have seen them all. Are we talking films or are we going?
We're talking about the trilogy of Deadpool movies. Yeah.
Deadpool or what was the other one? Sorry.
Invincible, the TV show.
I did
Invincible.
enjoy
The
Invincible.
comics better. The comics better.
No, we'll go for Deadpool. We'll go for Deadpool.
Okay then. So here we go. Deadpool. Question number 1. When coming up with his superhero name, what does Wade suggest should be put before Deadpool? So he gives himself a title, something Deadpool. What does he want to call himself?
Captain or
It is Captain Deadpool.
Captain Deadpool. Yeah.
It is Captain Deadpool. And straight away he goes, no, that's stupid. But well done. Question number 2. Which character rips Deadpool in half in the second film?
Juggernaut.
It is Juggernaut. I think I might have made this a little bit too easy by the sounds of it. Question number 3. Which song is played in the opening credits to Deadpool Wolverine as Wade fights the TVA?
Oh God, it's that bye 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 bye. Oh fuck, is it bye bye bye? The oh fuck, god damn it.
And when you realise this podcast doesn't go out because of the copyright strike.
I want to say bye bye. I don't think it's bye bye bye. I can't remember.
By who does that song?
It is by NSYNC.
The man has got 3 out of 3.
Boom! 2 for 2, Pete, in your face. Yeah. Currently,
Very nice.
yeah. I'm on a roll.
I'm really sad. I'm really sad we didn't have a sharp quiz.
Oh, trust me, we've done the sharp quiz before, and Matt did
man,
badly.
I've read all the books. I've watched all the series. I've got a signed copy and a Polaroid of Jason Sulkey, who played Harris. You know, like he's got his book. And yeah, I fucked it up. I was very disappointed in myself.
1 out of 3.
I was very disappointed in myself.
When you messed it up, did JonJo yell "Major Lex pay with his life"?
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I don't know that much on sharp, so
I'm in charge here. No, I'm in charge. Yeah.
But anyway, so we got to give it to tonight's winner.
Woo! Yeah, baby.
Well done, Matt
Should
Geary.
have given me Lord of the Rings, Pete. Should have given me Lord of the Rings.
But you would have lost.
Exactly. So there you go. There you go. There you go. 2 for 2, bitches. Woo! All right.
Well, we've definitely lost the child rating, haven't we?
Let's drop a C-bomb in there and then we'll...
Let's not.
we did a D&D, like I do. We got our campaign, which has been going on like five years now, and every now and again I drop in a thing called the Nobodies, which is basically they're all like level 16 superheroes now, but I drop them down to level 1 and they play like a baker, a crappy guard or something like that, where they have to sort of be nobodies. So they've got zero, they have to think, and it's all more about the story than what sort of spells and shit they have. And one of the guys my brother played in the last Nobodies was pretty much Billy Butcher from The Boys, and he just dropped C-bomb after C-bomb after C-bomb after everything, and it's the only YouTube video where I've had to sort of put it down as like the advisory thing, and sort of like, because it's just C-bomb, 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 C-bomb the whole thing.
Please tell me at one point he goes, well, if it ain't invisible.
Yeah, he did. He did. Because he did.
The second D is Dungeons and Demonetized.
Yeah, demonetized. Yeah.
Pretty much.
It was hilarious, but he's the only character. He sort of survived as well. He did have both of his legs broken, and he catapulted himself off a wall. To escape the horror within. But yeah, that was quite funny. But it's the only video where I was like, I can't do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sort of put an advisory on this, because it's got so much bad language. It's just completely over the top. I'll get taken down. Well, yeah. Anyway, with my victory, how long we can keep this going, we'll leave it there. It's been an absolute pleasure, Andrew. Thank you very much. The book sounds amazing. I hope it goes well with the release. And by all means, please do when you get the next one.
A little bit there.
Sorry, set. Hello?
Hello? You cut out just a little bit there.
Okay, sorry. Apologies.
At the end.
Sorry.
No worries.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
A pleasure.
Whenever, good luck with the book and its release. When you have your new one, by all means, please do come back on and share it with us. But for tonight, Actually, before we go, is there any sort of any pimping of websites or dates and stuff that you would like to?
Not. No, just before we go, like you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at my God It's Raining. I shut down my website a while ago for various reasons, but I never updated it. And yeah, the book comes out 50 days from now. It'll be on every good bookseller. The Survivor. Please, I hope you enjoy it. I certainly enjoyed writing it.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you so much for having me on. It was really nice to chat with you guys. Nice to meet you. And shocking to not remember Kane's name at all.
It's one of those ones.
Like,
I feel you, man. I feel you. It's one of those ones that's going to eat away at you when I get that.
Let me just show you one thing.
Oh,
I have to show you. I do have. Where is it? Back here. I do have the book about Alien. Oh yeah, BFI.
I honestly thought he was about to say, I've got a little minifigure, and it is the chest bursting scene.
I even have the BFI.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
There you go.
Do you know, I love the Spaceballs because it's got John Hurt in Spaceballs, doesn't he? And he's in the diner, and it comes out. He's like, "Oh no, not again,
not again."
But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you very much. Please do come back on when your new book comes out. But for tonight, I've been Matt Geary. With me has been JonJo Cosgrove.
Take care, everyone.
Peter Ray Allison.
Good night, everyone, and take care of each other.
And our special guest, Andrew Reid.
Thanks very much. I was robbed.
Night, everybody. Bye.
Good night.